everyone, welcome to this update video this morning. I hope you're doing great. So we're going to be talking about this tropical disturbance which has a medium chance of formation. So the chance has been on the rise since my update video yesterday, and it is pretty likely we're going to see a tropical storm and even a hurricane become of it as it approaches the Caribbean. So we're going to be looking at the conditions out there. We're going to be looking at the forecasts by the different models, the ensembles, and also we're going to be talking about the short term, the rainfall forecast for today. So let's get straight into it. And here we're looking at the satellite imagery. We can see all the disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity associated with the disturbance. So it is a tropical wave out there that is going to be moving generally to the west for the next couple of days. Another tropical wave is approaching the Caribbean right now, may increase the rainfall for some areas later today. And we can see that there is some action in parts of northern South America, Colombia, Venezuela, few spots in northern Guyana, Suriname. And then as we head to the West Caribbean, towards the vicinity of Belize, let's zoom in here. We can see lots of showers and thunderstorms within this general area. So it's a wet morning for some persons, for others pretty sunny, and those scattered showers and thunderstorms are moving in for parts of the Lesser Antilles. So we're going to be looking at the rainfall forecast for today, and then we're going to be talking more about the disturbance. And by the way, there is Dani'i, which is now an extratropical cyclone, still bringing a lot of rain and impacts to parts of the eastern United States, but it is going to continue to weaken and eventually dissipate as it makes its way out to the northeast. So let's go on to the rainfall forecast for today. Here we can see it, and we can see that the map is a little bit colorful within the vicinity of parts of the Caribbean, the Leeward Islands, a few spots in the Windward Islands as well. So as I said, there is a tropical wave there that is going to be moving in. So it's going to enhance the rain maybe as we head into later this afternoon. And then for parts of northern South America, we saw that there is already some action this morning. So Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, parts of Suriname, especially in the west, may experience some pretty decent downpours. Similar thing for Central America. We already saw lots going on for the vicinity of Belize and even the Bay Islands of Honduras. So there could be some additional periods of heavy rain today, potentially for western Cuba, for central and eastern Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Hispaniola, parts of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands. There could be some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Similar thing for the ABC Islands, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands as well. For the northern Bahamas, it's a little bit more colorful there. So there could be some thunderstorms and even some heavier downpours within that area. Heading on to our disturbance now. So here we can see the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. As I mentioned earlier, 50% chance of seeing development over the course of the next 7 days. So imminent formation is not expected. We can see the shaded orange area. It's when it moves closer to the Lesser Antilles when conditions are likely to become a bit more conducive to allow for it to intensify. So it could very well be a problem. It's likely to be a problem. As I said, all of the models are showing development becoming of this system here. They're showing an eventual curve because we could see the area of high pressure being displaced to the east, and when that happens, that is going to open up the opportunity for the system to curve around it. But if it is just sitting over there, pretty strong, pretty dominant, then we would see more of a westward track. And the rate of development also matters. The quicker it develops, the more it's likely to make that curve once it has the opportunity. But if not, then we could see a little bit more of a westward track in the for the system as well. So either way, it's likely that we're going to be impacted in parts of the Caribbean. So the Lesser Antilles and even parts of the Greater Antilles as well, Puerto Rico, even the Virgin Islands, Hispaniola, Turks and Caicos, Southern Bahamas, should keep watch for this system for next week. Heading to the early and mid part of the week, that is when impacts would be likely for the Caribbean. So we're going to be looking at what the models have to show. We're kickstarting things, looking at the ensembles for the Euro. So as we're going to be heading into the next 5 days. This goes out to Tuesday evening of next week. We can see here that there are a lot of members expecting that we're going to be seeing development maybe of at least maybe a tropical storm heading into the Caribbean. So we can see that general westward trajectory expected. But then as we're going to be heading into Thursday evening, going later into the week, we can see that eventual curve expected. And one of the things I'm kind of noticing is a little bit of a westward shift in the tracks. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Again, the steering mechanism is the high pressure area out there. As I said, I told you guys the different factors that would affect the track of the system. So we'll have to keep a close watch for that. But all of these members are generally showing that, hey, it's going to be moving west for a while and then making that curve up and out. As it pertains to the GFS members are showing a stronger system, but also show a similar track. So we can see that these tracks are pretty much similar to what we just saw with the Euro, but we see a bit more members that take the system a bit further west towards the vicinity of like Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba. We'll have to wait and see how that goes, but nothing is solid right now. However, we are seeing some sort of consistency in regards to development out there. And then as it pertains to the conditions, let's go on to that. We can see the water temperatures are very warm, well on their way right now, especially in the Gulf and parts of the Caribbean, headed to the Caribbean. And what is typically needed for development is around 26.5 degrees Celsius. We're seeing 29, we're seeing 30. So this area is going to be generally favorable in terms of those waters, not only at the surface but beneath the surface. So we're talking about a lot of energy to really fuel the system to intensify as it makes its way to the area. And not only is the water warm, but it's warmer than normal. So here we're looking at the anomaly map. So the anomaly map is basically showing us how much the temperature is varying from what is average or what is typical for the different areas. For example, we can see those blue shadings offshore of the East Coast. That is where temperatures are cooler than normal. The white spots indicate that temperatures are pretty much normal or average, and then those yellows, oranges, and even the reds indicate that the temperature is above normal. And the more vibrant we see that red shade, it indicates a higher than normal temperature. So we can see generally above average temperatures within the vicinity of the Caribbean, the Gulf, and also out into parts of the Atlantic. So it is very warm out there, very supportive of intensification. And I mean, this is expected. We're heading to the most active phase in the hurricane season. So we're going to be seeing the conditions really being in place to allow for development. The next thing is the dry air. So there's lots of dry air out there right now. However, not really a whole lot within the vicinity of the disturbance. And since it's going to be moving kind of generally west for the next couple of days, it may stay south of the mass of that very dry air. So it may actually have the opportunity to develop without the dry air being a huge inhibiting factor. It may struggle somewhat, don't get me wrong, but it's not a whole lot of dry air that's like ahead of it to significantly suppress development. Else we wouldn't really see it being marked and having a formation chance that's been going up since yesterday. So yeah, the chance has been increasing. It's kind of leveled off between last night and this morning's update, but I am expecting that eventually we will see it going up to 60 and then eventually code red with that 70% chance or higher as it approaches the Caribbean. So guys, we definitely have to keep our eyes on this system. As I highlighted yesterday, if you saw that update video, the next name on the list for this season is Ernesto. So we'll see if Ernesto is going to become of this, although I do think it has a very decent chance of eventually becoming a named storm and even a hurricane. But I want to point out again that, it is some time out, so we're bound to see some changes, but we kind of have a general idea of what is expected of this system here. And so I'm here to keep you guys updated, which I'll continue to do on a daily basis. So that is it for right now, and I do hope you found this update to be informative. However, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll get to you when I have the chance to do so. And remember to always be weatherwise.